Table of Contents. North Dakota Information, page 1. Introduction, page 1-1. Driving Safely, page 2-1. Transporting Cargo Safely, page 3-1. Transporting Passengers Safely, page 4-1. Air Brakes, page 5-1. Combination Vehicles, page 6-1. Doubles and Triples, page 7-1. Tank Vehicles, page 8-1. Hazardous Materials, page 9-1. School Buses, page 10-1. Pre-Trip Vehicle Inspection Test, page 11-1. Basic Vehicle Control Skills Test, page 12-1. On-Road Driving, page 13-1. North Dakota Information. The North Dakota Commercial Driver License requirements, in compliance with the Commercial Motor Vehicle Safety Act, requires minimum testing standards for the licensing of commercial drivers. You must have a commercial driver license, CDL, to operate a single vehicle with a gross vehicle weight rating or gross vehicle weight of 26,001 pounds or more, whichever is greater. A combination vehicle with a gross combination weight rating or gross combination weight of 26,001 pounds or more, whichever is greater, provided the towed unit has a gross vehicle weight rating or gross vehicle weight of 10,001 pounds or more, whichever is greater. A bus designed to transport 16 or more passengers, including the driver. Any vehicle that transports hazardous materials requiring placarding, or any quantity of a material listed as a select agent or toxin in 4.2 CFR Part 7.3. A special endorsement is also required to drive any tank vehicle, passenger transport vehicle, bus, double or triple trailer combination, placarded vehicle transporting hazardous materials or wastes, or material listed as a select agent or toxin in 4.2 CFR Part 7.3. School bus. Legal age. If you are less than 18 years of age, you cannot be issued a Class A, B, or C license, except a Class A, B, or C license may be issued to a person at least 16 years of age for custom harvesting purposes only. You must be at least 21 years of age to drive a commercial vehicle across state lines, interstate. Medical qualifications. All commercial drivers, including bus drivers, must meet the federal commercial medical requirements in 49 CFR 391. This includes drivers of vehicles greater than 10,000 GVWR that are used in interstate commerce, vehicles greater than 10,000 GVWR used in intrastate commerce if transporting hazardous materials requiring placards, or if the vehicle is designed to transport 16 or more persons, including the driver, and vehicles greater than 26,000 GVWR that are used in intrastate commerce. Some of the medical conditions that may disqualify an individual from obtaining a commercial permit or license are heart condition, hearing impairment, worse than 20/40 visual acuity in either eye, insulin-controlled diabetes, epilepsy, narcolepsy, and loss of or impairment of a limb. To continue to be medically qualified to operate a commercial motor vehicle, you must be medically examined by a U.S. licensed healthcare provider every 24 months or less pending healthcare provider recommendations. North Dakota state law requires that if any licensed Class A, B, or C operator suffers permanent loss or damage of a hand, arm, foot, leg, or eye, he or she must make a report of explanation to the Driver License Division. Medical certificate requirements. Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regulations, 49 CFR 383.73, require certain commercial driver license, CDL, holders to mail, fax, or email a copy of their medical certificate to the driver's license agency that issued the CDL. This must be done at least 10 days prior to visiting a driver license site for your CDL renewal or CDL testing. A medical certificate is also required even during times you are not actively driving commercial motor vehicles. If you are required to send a copy of your medical certificate to the Driver License Division, failure to do so will result in downgrading your commercial driving privileges to non-commercial driving privileges only. Downgrading will also occur if you allow your medical certificate to expire. Please email a copy as a PDF attachment to dotmedcerts@nd.gov, or upload a copy as a PDF attachment to our website, https://dot.nd.gov/dotforward/DOT/DLTS/DLOS/MEDCERCH.htm, or mail a copy to Driver License Division, 608 East Boulevard Avenue, Bismarck, North Dakota, 58505-0750, or fax a copy to 701-328-0308. Note: if sending medical certificate for more than one driver, use a separate fax or PDF attachment for each driver. How do I know if this applies to me? There are 4 categories of CDL drivers. Only Category 1, interstate and subject to 49 CFR Part 391, drivers are required to mail or fax a copy of their medical certificate to our office. What is deemed interstate transportation? Interstate is defined as trade, traffic, or transportation between a place in state and a place outside of such state, including a place outside of the United States, or trade, traffic, or transportation between 2 places in a state through another state, or a place outside of the United States, or trade, traffic, or transportation between 2 places in a state as part of trade, traffic, or transportation originating or terminating outside the state or the United States. Note: even though you may not actually be crossing state lines, you are still deemed an interstate driver if any part of your load originated or is terminating outside of North Dakota. To assist you in determining if you need to send a copy of your medical certificate to our office, see the category chart. Category chart: all Class A, B, or C, CDL, license holders and those applying for a Class A, B, or C permit that fall under Category 1 must send a copy of their medical certificate to the Driver License Division in Bismarck. Category 1, interstate and subject to 49 CFR Part 391. A copy of the medical certificate must be mailed, faxed, or emailed to the North Dakota Driver License Division. All Class A, B, and C drivers who do not fall under any of the other categories. All Class A, B, and C drivers granted a federal vision or diabetes exemption or federal SPE-limb impairment skill performance evaluation. Category 2, interstate, but operating exclusively in transportation or operations accepted under 49 CFR 390.3 sub F, 391.2, 391.68, or 398.3. No medical certificate is required except for school bus operations. Medical monitoring may be required by the North Dakota Driver License Division pending certain medical conditions. School bus operations crossing state lines, medical certificate must be carried by the school bus driver. Do not send it to our office. Transportation performed by the federal government, a state, or any political subdivision of a state. Occasional transportation of personal property by individuals not for compensation, nor in the furtherance of a commercial enterprise. The transportation of human corpses or sick and injured persons. The operation of fire trucks and rescue vehicles while involved in emergency and related operations. A 9 to 15 passenger van, including the driver, weighing less than 26,001 pounds GVWR and not for compensation. Apiarian industries, beekeepers. Farm custom operations, custom harvesters. Non-articulated farm vehicle drivers operating within a 150-mile radius of the farm. Covered farm vehicles displaying farm plates or CFV designation, straight trucks, and articulated vehicles. If more than 26,001 pounds, the driver may operate within home state, and if crossing state lines, within a 150-mile radius of owner or operator's farm or ranch. If 26,001 pounds or less, the driver may operate anywhere in the U.S. Private motor carrier of passengers, non-business. For example, organizations exempt from the Internal Revenue Code that provide transportation for their members. Emergency delivery of propane winter heating fuel and pipeline response. Drivers of migrant workers must meet minimum medical standards only, 49 CFR 398.3. Category 3, intrastate and subject to state driver qualification requirements. Medical certificate must be carried by the driver. Do not send it to our office. North Dakota drivers granted a state waiver for vision and insulin-controlled diabetes. Restriction K, CDL, is valid for intrastate only. In-state drivers of vehicles over 26,000 pounds, placarded hazardous material, vehicles designed to transport 16 or more persons, including the driver, school vehicles designed to seat 10 or more passengers, and school bus drivers who do not cross state lines. Restriction K, CDL, is valid for intrastate only. Category 4, intrastate, but operating exclusively in transportation or operations accepted from all or part of the state driver qualification requirements. No medical certificate required. Medical monitoring may be required by the North Dakota Driver License Division, pending certain medical conditions. Bona fide farmer operating articulated farm vehicles within a 150-mile radius of the farm and does not cross state lines. Restriction K, CDL is valid for intrastate only. Farmer or rancher operating a covered farm vehicle displaying farm plates or CFV designation, straight trucks and articulated, within North Dakota only. Restriction K, CDL is valid for intrastate only. Business vehicles 10,001 to 26,000 pounds GVWR that do not cross state lines, do not transport hazardous material that requires placarding, and are not designed to transport 16 or more persons, including the driver. Restriction K, CDL is valid for intrastate only. North Dakota driver license classes. Class A, any combination of vehicles with a gross combination weight rating or gross vehicle weight of 26,001 pounds or more, whichever is greater, provided the vehicle being towed has a gross vehicle weight rating or gross vehicle weight of 10,001 pounds or more, whichever is greater. May also operate Class B, C, and D vehicle groups, but not a Class M unless endorsed. Class B, any single vehicle with a gross weight rating or gross vehicle weight of 26,001 pounds or more, whichever is greater. May tow a vehicle not in excess of 10,000 pounds. May also operate Class C and D vehicle groups, but not a Class M unless endorsed. Class C, any single vehicle with a gross vehicle weight rating of 26,000 pounds or less that is designed to transport 16 or more passengers, including the driver, or is transporting hazardous materials under 49 CFR Part 172, placarded materials, and 42 CFR Part 73, may tow a vehicle not in excess of 10,000 pounds. May also operate a Class D vehicle, but not a Class M unless endorsed. Class D, non-commercial driver license. Any single vehicle less than 26,001 pounds gross vehicle weight rating may tow trailers not over 10,000 pounds gross vehicle weight rating. Note, must be 18 years of age or older if combined weight exceeds 26,000 pounds. Trucks towing trailers over 10,000 pounds, provided the combined weight does not exceed 26,000 gross combination weight rating. Holders of a Class D license may not operate a Class M vehicle unless endorsed. An operator with a Class D license may operate a farm tractor towing another vehicle having a gross weight in excess of 10,000 pounds. A Class D license holder may operate a house car or vehicle towing a house trailer or mobile home used solely for personal rather than commercial purposes. A Class D license holder may operate a fire truck or other emergency vehicle, vehicles during declared emergency snow and ice removal, and vehicles driven by active duty members for military purposes. Farm exemption. NDCC 39-06.2-06, 39-06.2-09. A Class D license holder age 15 may operate a farm truck within 150 miles of the driver's farm, having a gross weight of not more than 50,000 pounds, when transporting agricultural products or farm supplies. A Class D license holder age 16 and older may operate a 2-axle, tandem axle, or triple axle truck towing a trailer, but not double or triple trailers, and if age 18 and older may operate a truck tractor towing a trailer, but not double or triple trailers, transporting agricultural products, farm machines, or farm supplies to or from a farm within 150 miles of the person's farm. A Class D license holder may operate a farm vehicle if the vehicle is controlled and operated by a farmer and used to transport hazardous materials in the form of farm supplies within 150 miles of the farm and is not used in the operations of a common or contract carrier. Covered farm vehicle exemption, 49 CFR 390.5. A Class D license holder may operate a covered farm vehicle defined in 49 CFR 390.5. This is a vehicle operated by an owner or operator of a farm or ranch, or by a family member or employee of the owner or operator, used to transport agricultural commodities, livestock, machinery, or supplies to or from a farm or a ranch, is not used in for-hire motor carrier operations, and is not transporting hazardous materials that require placarding. The vehicle must have a license plate or other designation specified by the state that clearly identifies it as a farm vehicle. A covered farm vehicle and its operator are exempt from the following federal regulations. Part 382, Controlled Substances and Alcohol Use and Testing. Part 383, Commercial Driver's License Standard, Requirements and Penalties. Part 391, Subpart E, Physical Qualifications and Examinations. Part 395, Hours of Service of Drivers. Part 396, Inspection, Repair, and Maintenance. A covered farm vehicle with a gross vehicle weight, GVW, or gross vehicle weight rating, GVWR, whichever is greater, of 26,001 pounds or less, may be operated anywhere in the United States. A covered farm vehicle with a GVW or GVWR, whichever is greater, of more than 26,001 pounds may be operated within the state where it is registered, or if traveling outside of the state, within 150 air miles of the owner or operator's farm or ranch. Class M, any 2- or 3-wheeled motorcycle. Endorsement and restriction descriptions. All persons who operate a Class A, B, or C vehicle of a type or size having the following specialized equipment or vehicle transportation needs must pass additional knowledge and skill tests. All applicants for a hazardous materials endorsement must provide proof of citizenship or immigration status as specified in Table 1 to 49 CFR 383.71 and are subject to a Transportation Security Administration security screening process that includes fingerprint and background record checks. USA Patriot Act. See page 11 for more information. Table listing status and proof thereof. Status, U.S. citizen. Proof of status, valid, unexpired U.S. passport. Consular report of birth abroad, CRBA, issued by the U.S. Department of State. Certificate of naturalization issued by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, DHS. Certificate of citizenship issued by DHS. U.S. Territory birth certificate, certified by issuing authority. Status, lawful permanent resident. Proof of status, valid, unexpired permanent resident card issued by USCIS or INS. Continuing with the text. Endorsements. Hazardous material. H. A hazardous material endorsement is required to operate a commercial motor vehicle transporting hazardous material that requires placarding by federal regulation or any quantity of a material listed as a select agent or toxin in 42 CFR Part 7.3. The federal background check and written test must be passed each time you renew your commercial driver's license if you wish to retain this endorsement. Requires a knowledge test. Tank vehicle. N. A tank vehicle endorsement is required to operate a commercial motor vehicle that is designed to transport any liquid or gaseous material within a tank or tanks having an individual rated capacity of more than 119 gallons and an aggregate rated capacity of 1,000 gallons or more that is either permanently or temporarily attached to the vehicle or the chassis. A commercial motor vehicle transporting an empty storage container tank, not designed for transportation, with a rated capacity of 1,000 gallons or more that is temporarily attached to a flatbed trailer is not considered a tank vehicle. In summary, if you are hauling multiple tanks, each rated more than 119 gallons, and the combined volume of those tanks is 1,000 gallons or more, you need an N endorsement. If you are only hauling one tank, and that one tank is 1,000 gallon capacity or more, you need an N endorsement. Requires a knowledge test. Passenger bus. P. A passenger bus endorsement is required to operate a passenger bus designed to transport 16 or more persons, including the driver. Requires a knowledge test and a road test in a representative vehicle. Doubles or triples. T. A doubles or triples endorsement is required to operate a commercial vehicle towing 2 or 3 trailers. Requires a knowledge test. School bus. S. A school bus endorsement is required to operate a school bus designed to transport 16 or more passengers, including the driver, and is used to transport pre-primary, primary, or secondary school students from home to school, from school to home, or to and from school-related events. School bus does not include a bus used as a common carrier. Requires a knowledge test and road test in a representative school bus that is equipped with flashing red lights for loading and unloading school children. Additional endorsement information. The H and T endorsements are not allowed on commercial learner's permits. The P and S endorsements are allowed on commercial learner's permits, however, no passengers, other than the supervising driver or driver examiner, are allowed. The N endorsement is allowed on commercial learner's permits, however, it is restricted to empty tanks only. If you pass the road test in a bus less than 26,001 gross vehicle weight rating, your license will be restricted to no Class A or B buses. If you pass the road test in a single-unit bus with a gross vehicle weight rating of 26,001 pounds or more, your license will be restricted to no Class A buses. Pursuant to the limitations imposed by 49 CFR Part 383.3, the holder of a Class A commercial driver's license is exempt from the hazardous materials endorsement if the license holder is acting within the scope of the license holder's employment and within the state of domicile, or another state with a hazardous materials endorsement exemption, as an employee of a custom harvester operation, agrochemical business, farm retail outlet and supplier, or livestock feeder, and is operating a service vehicle that is transporting diesel in a quantity of 1,000 gallons, 3,785 liters, or less, and is clearly marked with a flammable or combustible placard as appropriate. Air brakes restriction. Drivers of Class A, B, or C vehicle groups will be restricted from operating commercial vehicles equipped with an air brake system unless and until they successfully pass an air brakes knowledge test and a skill test in a vehicle equipped with either a full or partial air brake system. CDL-specific restrictions. E. No manual transmission-equipped CMV. K. CDL for intrastate only. L. No air brake-equipped CMV. M. No Class A passenger bus. N. No Class A or B passenger bus. O. No tractor-trailer CMV. P. No passengers allowed on learner's permit with P and/or S endorsement. V. Medical variants. X. Only empty tanks are allowed on learner's permit with the N endorsement. Z. No full air brake equipped CMV. Entry-level driver training, ELDT. Entry-level driver training, ELDT, is a federal regulation relating to drivers. This applies to those seeking to obtain a Class A or Class B CDL for the first time, upgrade an existing Class B CDL to a Class A CDL, or obtain a school bus, S, passenger, P, or hazardous materials, H, endorsement for the first time. For more information, please visit https://www.fmcsa.dot.gov/. CDL rules. There are federal and state rules which affect commercial driver license holders. See Section 1 for additional driver disqualifications. For a first conviction of driving while under the influence of alcohol or being under the influence of a controlled substance, or refusal to be tested while operating a non-commercial motor vehicle, a commercial driver's license or permit holder must be disqualified from operating a commercial motor vehicle for 1 year. For a second or subsequent conviction of driving while under the influence or being under the influence of a controlled substance, or refusal to be tested while operating a non-commercial motor vehicle, a commercial driver's license or permit holder must be disqualified from operating a commercial motor vehicle for life. For a first conviction for leaving the scene of a crash while operating a non-commercial motor vehicle, a commercial driver's license or permit holder must be disqualified from operating a commercial motor vehicle for 1 year. For a second or subsequent conviction for leaving the scene of a crash while operating a non-commercial motor vehicle, a commercial driver's license or permit holder must be disqualified from operating a commercial motor vehicle for life. For a first conviction for using a vehicle to commit a felony while operating a non-commercial motor vehicle, a commercial driver's license or permit holder must be disqualified from operating a commercial motor vehicle for 1 year. For a second or subsequent conviction for using a vehicle to commit a felony while operating a non-commercial motor vehicle, a commercial driver's license or permit holder must be disqualified from operating a commercial motor vehicle for life. You will lose your CDL for life on a second or subsequent major offense. For a conviction for using a vehicle in the commission of a felony involving manufacturing, distributing, or dispensing a controlled substance while operating a commercial motor vehicle or a non-commercial motor vehicle, a commercial driver's license or permit holder must be disqualified from operating a commercial motor vehicle for life. A person is disqualified from driving a commercial motor vehicle for a period of not less than 60 days if convicted of any combination of 2 serious traffic violations within a 3-year period while operating a non-commercial motor vehicle, and either conviction results in the revocation, cancellation, or suspension of an operator's license, including a commercial driver's license. A person is disqualified from driving a commercial motor vehicle for a period of not less than 120 days if convicted of any combination of 3 or more serious traffic violations within a 3-year period while operating a non-commercial motor vehicle, and any of the convictions result in the revocation, cancellation, or suspension of an operator's license, including a commercial driver's license. Serious traffic violations. You will lose your CDL for a first conviction for using a commercial motor vehicle in the commission of severe human trafficking in persons. A commercial driver's license or permit holder must be disqualified from driving a commercial motor vehicle for life. For at least 60 days if you have committed 2 serious traffic violations within a 3-year period involving a CMV. For at least 120 days for 3 serious traffic violations within a 3-year period involving a CMV. Serious traffic violations committed in a CMV are excessive speeding, 15 miles per hour or more above the posted limit, reckless driving, improper or erratic lane changes, following a vehicle too closely, traffic offenses in connection with fatal traffic crashes, driving a commercial motor vehicle without obtaining a commercial driver's license or permit, driving a commercial motor vehicle without a commercial driver's license or permit in the driver's possession, an individual who provides proof to the enforcement authority that issued the citation by the date the individual must appear in court or pay a fine for such violation, that the individual held a valid commercial driver's license or permit on the date the citation was issued, is not guilty of this offense. Driving a commercial motor vehicle without the proper class of commercial driver's license or permit or endorsement, or both, for the specific vehicle group being operated, or for the passengers or type of cargo being transported, and texting while driving, and using a handheld mobile telephone while driving. Implied consent. If you operate a CMV, you shall be deemed to have given your consent to alcohol testing for the above-mentioned violations. Refusal to take such test will result in license revocation for a period of not less than 1 year. Driver's log. A driver's log must be used to record all driver's hours. Drivers of commercial vehicles must be in compliance with the log requirements of CFR Title 4.9, Section 395.8. Department of Transportation requirements interstate authority. Hours of service. Operations of commercial motor vehicles must stay within the limit of hours of service. Some exceptions apply. For the most current interstate hours of service and exceptions, visit www.fmcsa.dot.gov or contact Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, 1471 Interstate Loop, Bismarck, North Dakota 58503. Telephone 701-250-4346. For the most current intrastate hours of service and exceptions, visit www.nd.gov/NDHP or contact the North Dakota Highway Patrol at 701-328-2455. North Dakota size and load requirements. Width, height, length, and weight requirements. Special permits for over-length, over-width, over-height, and overweight vehicles may be granted on an individual basis by the North Dakota State Highway Patrol. Width. In general, the total outside width of any vehicle cannot exceed 8 feet 6 inches. No load may extend beyond the fender lines on the left side of your vehicle, nor more than 12 inches beyond the right fender lines. Height. The maximum height for any vehicle is 14 feet. Resident farmers, ranchers, implement dealers, or farm machinery manufacturers may move implements of husbandry with height limitations not exceeding 15 feet 6 inches when traveling within a 60-mile radius between sunrise and sunset, provided the move is not on an interstate highway. On the state highway system, there are several clearances below the legal vehicle height limit. Contact the State Highway Patrol for the exact locations. Length. Length limitations depend on the type of vehicle involved. A single-unit vehicle with 2 or more axles cannot exceed a length of 50 feet, including the load. The length of a towed vehicle may not exceed a length of 60 feet or a trailer length of 53 feet. A combination of 3 or 4 units may not exceed 75 feet in total length. A combination of 3 or 4 units may not exceed 75 feet in total length, including the load. The only 3 or 4 unit combinations allowed are a truck, tractor, and semi-trailer pulling a trailer or semi-trailer, a vehicle pulling 3 motor vehicles attached by a triple saddle mount. A truck may draw 2 trailers, subject to any rules adopted by the director. A truck, tractor, and semi-trailer may draw 2 trailers, subject to any rules adopted by the director. A motor vehicle may draw 2 trailers or vehicles, subject to any rules adopted by the director. On specific highways in the state designated by the Department of Transportation Director, a combination of 2, 3, or 4 units, including the load, may have a total length of 110 feet or less. All such combinations are subject to safety rules adopted by the director. Certain vehicles are exempt from the length restrictions. Equipment designed to move buildings. Emergency tow trucks towing legal combinations of vehicles to be repaired. Vehicles or equipment owned and operated by the Armed Forces of the United States or the North Dakota National Guard. Structural material belonging to telephone, power, and telegraph companies. Drawbar. The drawbar or connection between any 2 vehicles, one of which is towing or drawing the other on a highway, shall be of such design, strength, and construction so as to prevent the unintentional uncoupling of the vehicles. Safety chains must be used when towing in excess of 25 mph, with the exception of fifth-wheel coupling devices. Weight. Maximum weight limits vary according to the number of axles on your truck and the distance between them. Axles 40 inches apart or less are considered to be one axle. Single-axle vehicles may carry a maximum load of 20,000 pounds or a wheel load of 10,000 pounds. Axles spaced more than 40 inches and less than 8 feet apart, tandem axles, are allowed 19,000 pounds per axle, but gross weight of a tandem grouping may not exceed 34,000 pounds or 48,000 pounds on a grouping of 3 or more axles. The maximum gross weight on the state highways is 105,500 pounds unless posted for less. 80,000 pounds is the maximum gross weight on the interstate system without a permit. 80,000 pounds is the maximum gross weight on all other highways unless designated for more, not to exceed 105,500 pounds. The wheel load can never be more than 550 pounds per inch of tire width, except that such limits may not be applied to tires on the steering axle. Steering axle weights are limited to 20,000 pounds or the axle ratings established by the manufacturer, whichever is lower. The governor may permit and prescribe definite excess limitations as to size and weight for the operation of motor vehicles in emergencies and to meet unusual conditions for the general welfare of the public. Any police officer or state highway patrol officer may weigh vehicles and the load carried thereon by means of portable or stationary scales and may require the vehicle to be driven to the nearest scales for that purpose. Load requirements. Whenever a load projects 4 or more feet beyond the rear of your vehicle, you must take special precautions. In daylight hours, tie a 12-inch square red cloth to the end of the load. At night or in times of poor visibility, attach a red light on the end of the load. The light must be visible for 600 feet. No load may extend beyond the fender lines on the left side of your vehicle, nor more than 12 inches beyond the right fender lines. Load requirements for school buses. The number of passengers being transported on any passenger or school bus shall not exceed the number designed by the manufacturer. The operator of a school bus equipped with amber caution lights may activate those lights at a distance of not less than 300 feet, nor more than 500 feet, before stopping to receive or discharge school children. The overhead red flashing lights on a school bus shall be activated whenever the bus is stopped on a highway outside the limits of a city for the purpose of receiving or discharging school children. The red flashing lights may be activated when permitting school children to board or alight from a school bus within the city limits, except when the bus is stopped at intersections controlled by traffic signals or police officers. The operator must also be sure that there are no city ordinances prohibiting the use of the red flashing lights. Whenever the school bus is stopped for the purpose of loading or unloading passengers, the vehicle shall be shifted into neutral gear. In the case of an automatic transmission, the vehicle shall be shifted into the park position, and the emergency brake shall be set. The entrance door may not be opened until the bus has made a complete stop. No passenger shall be permitted to get on or off the bus while it is in motion. The flashing red lights shall be activated only when it is observed that all oncoming or following traffic can stop safely before reaching the stopped bus. Indiscriminate use of the flashing red lights will defeat the purpose for which they are designed. It is unlawful to use the red flashing lights on any school bus for any purpose other than loading or unloading passengers. See School Bus Student Discharge in Section 13.1.10 of this manual. Equipment required on school buses. The Department of Public Instruction may adopt reasonable regulations as to the construction, design, operation, equipment, and color of school buses. These regulations apply only to those vehicles used for the transportation of school children. For more information, it is recommended that each school bus operator obtain the School Bus Driver's Guide by the Department of Public Instruction or School Handbook. Bus equipment and standards. Each school bus must have the standard school bus glossy yellow color on the exterior. The words "school bus" in letters 8 inches in height must be printed on the front and rear of each school bus. The words "school bus" must be covered or removed if the bus is used for any purpose other than transporting school children. Every school bus must be equipped with a sign on the rear of the bus containing the words, "This school bus stops at all railroad crossings." Buses must not carry more passengers than the vehicle is designed to transport. Each passenger must be comfortably seated. All seats in the school bus must face forward. Each passenger bus must be equipped with an emergency exit door. No passenger shall be allowed to use the emergency exit except in the case of an emergency or for the purpose of conducting an evacuation drill. Studded tires may be used on any vehicle from October 15 to April 15 each year. A school bus may be equipped with studded tires at any time during the year when transporting school children. School buses manufactured after July 31, 1998 must be equipped with safety strobe lights. The strobe light must be in operation whenever the school bus is being operated upon a highway for purposes of transporting children either to or from school or for a school-sanctioned activity. It is unlawful to operate a safety strobe light when the school bus is used for any other purpose. Railroad crossing stops. The operator of a bus carrying passengers, or any school bus, shall activate the hazard lights approximately 200 feet before the crossing. The driver shall stop the bus between 15 to 50 feet before the nearest rail of the railroad crossing. After stopping, the operator of a school bus must open the entrance door, look, and listen for any oncoming train, and not change gears while crossing the tracks. Before crossing, after a train has passed, be sure there isn't another train coming in either direction on other tracks. Passenger entrance door may be closed prior to crossing tracks as long as operator has adequately looked and listened adequately for a train in both directions. Requirements necessary to earn a Class A, B, or C license. Read, write, and speak the English language. Pass the required knowledge test or tests corresponding to the type and class of vehicle to be driven. Demonstrate your ability to operate your vehicle by passing a road test. Must not be addicted to alcohol, narcotic drugs, or any other drug. You must have the appropriate license for the type of vehicle you are operating. The license must be signed by you to be valid. You must have your license in your possession every time you drive. Driver record background check. When you apply for a commercial driver license, you will be asked to certify that you do not have a driver's license from more than one state or country. Surrender your current driver's license. Certify that your driver's license is not suspended, revoked, canceled, or disqualified or subject to any of these actions. Provide proof of your Social Security number. Every motor vehicle required to be registered in this state shall have a valid policy of liability insurance in effect. Officer's inspection. Any law enforcement officer who has reason to believe that a commercial vehicle is not safely loaded, or that the height, width, length, or weight of a vehicle and load is unlawful, is authorized to require the driver to stop and submit to an inspection, measurement, or weighing of the load. The officer may have the driver stop in a suitable area and reload or remove any part of the load. Examinations. Cooperation with the examiner. The applicant must at all times cooperate with the examiners by following their instructions. License applicants must furnish their own vehicle for the road test properly registered and equipped. If you fail any of the tests, you will not be allowed to retake the examination the same day. Submit the Class A, B, or C vehicle to a safety inspection at the time of the road test. If the vehicle does not pass the inspection, or the driver fails the pre-trip inspection, the skill or road test will not be given. A representative vehicle for the commercial vehicle group that the driver expects to operate must be used for the skill or road tests. Applying for a commercial license or permit. The federal commercial driver's license law requires that a driver of a commercial vehicle, Class A, B, or C, who moves from one jurisdiction to another, changing his or her domicile, must apply for a new commercial driver license within 30 days of residency. Each driver must surrender all driver's licenses held as a condition of receiving a new license. Proof of Social Security number is required for the Commercial Driver's License Information Service, CDLIS. As authorized by NDCC 39-06-07, all applications for permit or license must contain the individual's Social Security number. All commercial applicants and commercial drivers must provide proof of citizenship, lawful permanent residence, or legal presence, temporary status, and proof of North Dakota residence address, place of domicile, and proof of Social Security number. This documentation must be provided to the driver's license examiner prior to CDL testing or issuance of a CDL permit or CDL license. Note: individuals from Canada and Mexico are not eligible for a state-issued CDL unless they present a U.S. permanent resident card, 49 CFR DOT Interpretations 383.23. Both the 2-year and 10-year cards are acceptable. Applicants must also present a valid Class D, non-commercial, license or valid out-of-state license prior to testing for a commercial permit or being issued a commercial license. 1. Proof of identification is required. All applicants must present proof of current name, date of birth, and legal presence in the United States. Acceptable forms of identification are U.S. birth certificate, state-certified government-issued, U.S. territory birth certificate, certified by issuing authority, valid unexpired U.S. passport or valid unexpired U.S. passport card, report of birth abroad issued by the U.S. Department of State, certificate of naturalization, certificate of citizenship, valid unexpired permanent residence card, valid unexpired employment authorization card, temporary status, valid unexpired foreign passport with I-94, temporary status, I-94 cards stamped refugee or asylee, temporary status. No photocopies. No hospital certificates. All documents must be original or certified copies only. If your current name is different than the name on your identity document, you will need to bring additional proof of your legal name. Acceptable documents for proof of name change are a certified marriage certificate, a certified adoption document, or a certified court order authorizing a name change. No photocopies. Court seal required. You will not be allowed to test or obtain a North Dakota permit, license, or non-driver identification card without proper identification. Applicants born in North Dakota may obtain a copy of their certified birth certificate by contacting Vital Records at the North Dakota Department of Health. Visit www.ndhealth.gov/VITAL for details. Applicants born in another state may access Vital Records offices through the National Center for Health Statistics at http://www.cdc.gov/NCHS/W2W.htm. 2. Proof of Social Security Number. As authorized by NDCC 39-06-07 and 39-06-03.1, all applications for permit, license, or identification card must contain the individual's Social Security number. The document presented must contain name and full Social Security number. Proof is required by presenting one of the following documents: Social Security card, actual blue and white card, W-2 form, SSA 1099 form, non-SSA 1099 form, pay stub. 3. Proof of North Dakota residence address. Proof of North Dakota residence address, place of domicile, is required by presenting two documents from the list below. All documents presented for satisfactory proof of residence address must be the most currently issued document. Acceptable documents for proof of address are most current government-issued property tax statement, current mortgage or lease or rental document, current homeowners or renters insurance policy, current utility bill, electricity, gas, water, sewer, cable, recycle, school or college transcript issued within 6 months, current financial statement, issued by financial institution, government entity, government-regulated entity, current pay stub or statement from employer, current vehicle insurance policy or statement, non-expired current resident certificate or identification card with physical address issued by a North Dakota tribal agency, current formal resident statement issued by property owner or renter, current relief agency or shelter certification. All documents must contain your name and physical residence address. Post office boxes are not acceptable for residence address. You will not be allowed to test or be issued a commercial permit or commercial license without proper proof of residence address. An appointment is required for your knowledge test. Schedule an appointment no later than 1 hour prior to noon if testing at an office that closes for lunch, and no later than 1 hour prior to closing. An appointment can be made online at dot.nd.gov or by phone at 855-633-6835. Please note, you will receive a failed test score if you leave the testing area while your test is in progress. Allow yourself extra time if you will be taking more than one knowledge test. Children, pets, except medical alert or service animals, backpacks, purses, paper, pen, pencil, markers, cell phones, and any other electronic devices are not allowed in the knowledge testing area. Important: you will receive a failed test score if you bring any of these items into the testing area. You are responsible for securing these items in a safe place prior to testing. You must have an appointment for the road test. Passengers, other than the licensing examiners, pets, except medical alert or service animals, and electronic devices are not allowed during the pre-trip inspection, basic control exercises, or road test. Preparing for the road test. 1. You must hold the commercial learner's permit a minimum of 14 days to be eligible for the commercial road test. 2. If your commercial vehicle is equipped with an automatic transmission, you will be restricted to an automatic transmission commercial motor vehicle. 3. Self-parking vehicles are not allowed. The applicant must test in a different vehicle or deactivate the self-parking feature. 4. A restricted Class A license will be issued if the road test is taken in a truck and trailer combination instead of a tractor and trailer combination. 5. To avoid an air brakes restriction, you must test in a vehicle equipped with a full air brakes system. 6. Practice the backing exercises in the vehicle you will be testing in. 7. Your permit must cover the type of vehicle you will be testing in, including endorsements, P, S, or N for tank vehicles. No placarded vehicles allowed. 8. Practice the walk-around pre-trip inspection, Section 11, for the vehicle you will be testing in. 9. Double-check that all vehicle equipment is in proper working order. The vehicle must be equipped with safety belts and the passenger seat securely fastened. 10. Arrive early for your appointment so you have time to fix any vehicle equipment that may have quit working on your way to the test site. 11. If you cannot keep your appointment, call to cancel it as soon as possible so another applicant can be scheduled. If inclement weather, such as lightning, minus 20 degrees F temperature or colder, or any conditions that could be deemed unsafe for the applicant or examiner at the testing site, a test may be required to be delayed or rescheduled. Driver license offices. For current office locations and hours, go to www.dot.nd.gov. Click on Driver. Click on Driver's License Information. For road test appointments, dial toll-free at 1-855-633-6835. TTY users may call Relay North Dakota at 711. For services that can be done online, go to www.dot.nd.gov, click on Driver. Click on Online Services. Highlighted material concerning testing sites and locations. Lunch hour schedule. All sites closed from 12 to 1 p.m. except Bismarck, Minot, Grand Forks, and Fargo. Holiday schedule. Offices are closed on the following holidays: New Year's Day, January 1, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, the third Monday in January, President's Day, third Monday in February, Good Friday, the Friday preceding Easter Sunday, Memorial Day, the last Monday in May, Independence Day, July 4, Labor Day, the first Monday in September, Veterans Day, November 11, Thanksgiving Day, the fourth Thursday in November, Christmas Eve, December 24, offices close at noon, Christmas Day, December 25. If January 1st, July 4th, November 11th, or December 25th falls on a Sunday, the following Monday shall be the holiday.